your own beat, whatever you are doing, no matter how simple it is, no matter how easy it is, because you are doing it consistently, you will be having a skill. Even if it is just an email, email is a skill. That is what I proved that time when I applied for that particular job, when somebody told me actually about how I wrote that email. So I didn't follow any rule, but I can give you some rules, some tips as to how to write an email. It has to be something coming out of your own self. So if suppose you are doing some file work, very routine work, right? But the way you maintain your file can stand out if you put a little flavor onto it about cataloging that file into something, or making some notes below that file, or naming that file. These are all very simple tasks, but these will make life easier for a person who is searching for that file, say after 5 years. Cataloging is a very important skill, although it is very simple. I'll tell you, I'll place some one example, right? Storing a file is not very difficult. Storing a space for your file, whatever you are working on, is not very difficult. But how do you store your file? Many people I see, almost everybody, very learned professionals and everybody, they crowd their desktop with all their files. I can't figure out how they recognize one file from the other, and how do they remember those files from the names that they have given. Even if you have named it properly, if it is on desktop, it is very difficult to find. For at least for me, it is very difficult to find the appropriate file at the right time. Finding an appropriate file at the right time serves the purpose why you have stored that file in the first place. Do you get me? So, why are you doing whatever you are doing is the question you should be answering all the time, and that gives your passion. If you know why you are doing whatever you are doing, even if you are not doing, even if you don't right now realize why you are doing it, but if you are doing it with a purpose, with a specificity, with neatness, it will lead to a purpose being served in future. For some other reason you hardly know. Another example I can give you is I had worked in the state of Meghalaya, and it is a state, it is a place known for its notoriety in that people of that state don't usually encourage any outsiders at their place, right? So there are many stories where I broke the system and I got close to them, and all those theories about they not welcoming anybody, I proved it wrong all the time. But that is not the story that I am going to tell you. The story is, I wrote everything that I observed, and each thing that I observed, it's a very little small thing. It became a story, right? So the part of the project and the deliverable, the mandate of that project was to give periodical reports to the government of India from time to time, and there was a penalty clause for not abiding by that rule, and I was never short of any story. No matter wherever I was traveling or anything, I have that data and I have that story. So I just now told you about the data, right? Data is that part of thing. It is not about storing numbers here there. Again I say, anything you store has to have a meaning, to be of use to other other person, another person. The main purpose of storing is to make it useful over and over, not for you only, but for everybody whoever is using that data, that project, whoever comes in. There is no guarantee that you will be in the project or you will be at that particular place all the time. That means you are stuck, right? So here is what I tell you. Doing it, whatever, whatever you like, whatever place you are, remember all these small things. It has to be useful for another person. Otherwise, there is no use of you doing anything, no matter how big it is. It has to be useful for another person, and that is the person. That is the passion, I tell you. And what is legacy is something useful for another person. That is what legacy and heritage is, right? So that that passion you need to build, find out, identify how you can do it. These are the processes I told you just now. Whatever you do it very specific to the purpose of that particular work, and it should be purposeful for another person who is following up that work, and it has to be some definition, some clarification, some outlining of that particular purpose as to how it will be discovered at all, if at all it is required. And yes, so that is what. If you have any question, I welcome that question, and I would love a discussion on it. So if it is useful, tell me so, and if you are watching the recording, tell me that it is a replay, and if you are watching on YouTube, then comment on that video below, and also tell what has been your passion. And if you haven't yet found your passion, then would you like me to help you identify your passion? So I'll wait for your comments. Thank you for watching.